Okay. Okay, what do we have here? We need to get the light over here. This pack looks to be burnt. Okay, let's see. This. See how this one's turning in here? I'm gonna have to look at the book. See how this works. Is one side spring loaded and it's fooling me? This side is locked up. I gotta look and see, make sure I'm thinking right here. I was looking for a Belleville spring or something in there that would lead me to believe that that was a spring-loaded brake. Right now, it's appearing as if this one's locked up all the time. And how does that actually work? That would turn the whole shaft. Let me look in the book and do a little more research on this before I make a decision here. I need to find out what's in these two packs. Is one side spring applied and the other side pressure applied? I'm not sure yet. Alright guys, we're looking at this book. I might need a rag to clean this off, huh? Okay, so you look in here, okay? Any spring-loaded clutch pack that I've ever worked on, most of the time, the clutch piston actually will release the clutch pack, and the bevel springs, usually you can't pull, they're calling it a circlip, but you can't pull where your frictions and seals are, you can't pull that snap ring off without compressing that. You don't just say remove internal circlip 1, take out the pressure plate 2, clutch disc 3, and drive plates 4. Remove the external circlip 5, which is going to be the spring. 6 is going to be, what are they saying 6 is? Take out the piston 9. Where's the spring at? Must be number 6, I'm guessing. Or the spring retainer. They're not really saying, though. What the hell's number 6? Why would you list all that? Okay, number 6. Collar. Where's the damn spring at? O-ring, D-ring, spring. Where's... Well, I'm wrong. Wait a second. No, that's... Where's 11 at? Where's 11? 17. What are 17? Yeah, I remember that on that one I rebuilt. Had all these rubber plugs in the steel plates. Goofier than hell. I'm looking for number 11.
Right behind 9.
Okay. Spring. So they're underneath that clutch piston. So I'm trying to think this through here. So you'd have to compress those. Okay, so that's all that's doing is releasing the clutch piston when there's no oil on it. Just a little bit different way of doing it than I'm used to. Yeah. That's goofier than hell. Anyway.
Alright guys, so the book on this is not very well, but I understand it now. The four-wheel drive side is spring applied. It's those little springs are, I remember this now, pulling this one clutch pack apart years ago. Those springs are under the piston, shoving it up against it's keeping the clutch pack together. So it takes oil to shove the piston down against the springs to release the clutch pack. The other end, the bi-speed clutch pack, they're exactly the opposite. Those little springs are on top of the piston, forcing the piston down. And then it takes oil pressure to overcome spring pressure and shove the piston against all the frictions and steels. So the book is it's pretty vague in the way they're explaining things. They're telling you to just pull that snap ring out of there, you know, and then you read the assembly instructions and they don't say anything about compressing all that stuff back in there to make it go back together. So I don't know, it's kind of a piss poor book, you know, and this is the book for the m135gx, so, and it's the same exact transmission as the 126x as far as I can tell, because I've got that book as well. But that's what it is. It's a spring-loaded clutch pack.
What to do with the stick light? Did I bring it back out here, or I leave it over here? I got it, Blake. I'm kind of curious about this whole thing. I don't want to make a mistake of tearing this whole tractor down and that not being the problem. And I'll tell you what I'm seeing here, guys. There's two clutch packs on this. One's the bi-speed, one's the four-wheel drive. And I'm not even really sure what that bi-speed shit does, to be honest with you. But here's one pack is turning in there.
Alright guys, so what I'm doing here, that gear I'm turning I figured out is the bi-speed clutch, and I think pretty sure the bi-speed clutch is pressure applied, but I think what it has to do, when that bi-speed clutch is engaged, it has to disengage the front clutch pack. And then what happens is it transfers the power through that set of gears to that front gear that turns this prop shaft going to the front diff. So I had to do a little research on this bi-speed thing. I was trying to figure out what the hell is bi-speed. So Kubota's idea on this bi-speed thing, say if you're, which I've never had any problem with any other tractor in dirt. Now on pavement or hard ground, you always turn your four-wheel drive off anyway, so the front end doesn't hop and all that stuff. But Kubota's idea and theory behind this all was that when you're turning and you want to have a smooth turn, say you're doing a sharp turn, you're doing a 180-degree turn to go the other way, and you're disking or harrowing or whatever you're doing, that bi-speed clutch is supposed to engage and then go through that set of gears I pulled off the bottom, and then turn that front shaft twice as fast as it's turning the rear tires. So the front end's supposed to turn twice as fast. And they say that's supposed to make a smoother turn. I guess, you know, I've never been in one to see what it does. I mean, all you guys, I've obviously stirred the pot up when I started talking bad about Kubota. I had some guys, I own 9 Kubotas and I've run them for 20 years, and that's good for you. Anyway, but you know, I guess you can tell me whether it works or not. But I do remember years ago on a 126X, he lost the shuttle pack at like 2,500 hours on that tractor. I split it, replaced the forward and reverse clutch pack pistons and seals, and then at like 4,500 hours, we ended up splitting it again because he didn't want to do the whole transmission the first time. Then he lost the 1 through 4 on the high-low pack, And then right after that, they lost the engine on it at like 5,000 hours. And Kubota actually warranted the engine even though they didn't have to, and then he got rid of it. And one of these tractors here that I'm working on here, there's two of these 135s. It only had 2,600 hours on one of these, and they lost an engine on these, and Kubota warranted it. So I can't say that Kubota, was standing behind their engines when they really didn't have to. But, these guys that run them for 20 years, yeah, maybe they aren't taken very good care of. But a lot of the John Deeres they've got aren't taken good care of either, and they last longer than 2,500 hours. I can tell you that, the engines do. And they're taken care of just the same way. So, anyway, that's my little rant about that.
I've been doing some research. I called the dealer up in town, and I don't know. The way he's saying it's a spring-loaded clutch pack, but everything that I'm reading in the service manual, like right here's the troubleshooting. Main shift clutch, full-wheel drive, bi-speed. Clutch slip, operating pressure is low. So if it was a spring-loaded clutch pack, it wouldn't matter if the pressure was low. If you had a broken spring, it would slip because the operating pressure is what releases it. So you can go back up to here, if I can find it. Yeah, where was it at? Deformation, clutch operating pressure is low. So you can go up here and it'll tell you, I think it's here maybe. Separating, disconnecting wiring harness. That's not what I wanted to do. It tells you about testing that. Somewhere in here. I don't know where, but it tells you about it in there somewhere. Huh. Where's it at here? Filler change, adjuster, replace. That's for the regulator valve. There was a spot in here. I gotta find it. Checking and adjusting. Maybe that was hydraulic clutch power shift. Yeah, that's what I was doing. All right. So if you go in here to the testing, you can pull that valve plate off. And I'll go down here to bi-speed full drive. This guy up here is telling me it's a spring-loaded clutch pack. And I'm not, it's not what I'm getting out of the book and the way it works. Because you turn the full drive switch on and it comes up to system pressure. You turn the full drive off, the switch off, and the indicator light goes off on the dash, then it goes to zero pressure. So that tells me it's pressure applied. Differential lock, full drive, bi-speed turn clutch, operating pressure. Okay, set the power shift, range shift lever, and shuttle lever to neutral position. We did that. Move the floor mat and blah, blah, blah. Set the adapter D. Yeah, whatever you're supposed to put in there. And we were on this one over here. Test port A is where we were at. Start the engine and check the clutch operating pressure as shown in the table below. If the pressure is not within factory specification, checks related circuit to the testing of the clutch. Condition, engine speed, 1,000 RPM, oil temperature. Okay, so clutch operating pressure. It's supposed to be 298 to 327 psi, which we had. Okay, hydraulic clutch. It tells you that diff lock for port B. We were on port A. Full-wheel drive, check port A. Full-wheel drive switch at on position. That tells you that it's a pressure applied clutch. So I'm sorry, but I don't think he knows what in the hell he's talking about. Yeah, that's what I'm getting out of that whole thing right there. So I might do a little more research tonight. I don't want to pull that whole thing apart and find I don't have anything wrong there, but it's just everything's pointing to that one clutch pack. Because you put it in a two-wheel drive and you can't stop the drive line, and then of course he said, did your guy in the cab have his foot on the brake? Because it's got dynamic, and it does. He's right about that. It turns the four-wheel drive on when you put the brake pedal, and no, because I remember I was sitting in the underneath the tractor trying to stop the drive line, and the back tire was turning. If he had the foot on the brakes, the tire wouldn't have been turning. So, and I asked him, he said he didn't have his foot on. He didn't have his foot on the brake. So that would defeat the whole purpose of, you know, putting your foot on the brake. That kind of defeat the whole purpose of the test, getting the drive line to see if the wheels would turn, you know. So I don't know. I've got a feeling that we're going to be tearing this thing completely down, but I just don't want to make a mistake of doing it and not finding the absolute problem. So anyway, it's about 5 o'clock. We're going to put stuff up. We got all the 8.3 Cummins parts in the back of the service truck. We're going to take them home because we're going to rebuild it there in the nice warm shop. In my 6-liter Ford, I've got two 6-liters. I got an 06 King Ranch, and then that old service truck that I need to get my button gear and fix. And hell, Blake could drive that. My King Ranch, the damn wife called. She says, it's billowing white smoke out of it everywhere. And I said, oh, the EGR cooler went out on it. I can tell you what's wrong with it. So, anyways, maybe one of you Kubota guys there. I've been through a couple of these, not near as many as the green ones. These three tractors, these guys got a 126X and two 135GXs, and these are starting to get a few hours on them, and these guys are pretty rough on stuff, so I'm probably going to be seeing them quite a bit. So I need to bone up on them.